Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk, guys. Welcome back and thanks for tuning in. We're going to talk about flanking and using the flank. So there are basically two kinds of flanks, in my opinion, in this game. There's the tactical or local flank, and then there's the strategic flank. This is a great map for showing that. The tactical local flank is, for example, in the city, where you're changing angles, where you're moving to another roadway or alleyway, getting shots, maybe creating several different angles on the same guy from the same general area so that you can shoot him from different slight angles, pushing past people, shooting him in the back, that kind of thing. The strategic flank is another great example then on this map is the two sides of this map, and you've got the west side, which has that kind of big hill, and that's where I'm going to go, or over on the east side, which has a lot of bushes and things. Getting shots into city, getting shots from the city out to the flanks is more the strategic flank, or even working your way around from the south where I am into the north and shooting guys down into the town. Lots of examples of that. So I'm going to attempt to do kind of two of those things. I'm going to head over to the west side. And what you want to do when you move to a flank, one flank or the other on a map. Now, some maps limit that a little bit because you're talking about very canalized maps where you're going down one channel or another, and now you're talking more localized flanks or tactical flanks, and it's going to be very difficult to get a strategic flank because it takes so long to drive around. There are maps like that, but this one's pretty wide open. So I'm going to head over to the west side. We'll get started here. I'm in my UDES 16, the tier 9 version, which is a tank I don't do particularly good in. I'm going to have a good game right here, and I'm learning it a little bit better. The gun is a little bit wonky. So those long-range shots going into town are going to be a little bit tricky with a tank like this. It likes to be a little bit closer, but it's more of an ambush TD. That's why it's a difficult tank for me. It doesn't really do its job really great. So it's not necessarily a brawler, although the armor profile can give people trouble if they're not careful on where they aim. So it's just a really kind of strange tank right here. I'm going to head over to this flank, and we're going to look for shots on things like this. All right, so this is more of the strategic flank. We're taking this area over in the west. We're looking for shots on guys who are unwise and are driving through the middle of the town. So this is what we're just really waiting for. And then my first shot goes low and I get no damage. The E100 drives out in the open and he gets absolutely pummeled. I'm going to try to get up into, and I'm not sure if I got into his turret there or not. He gets tracked, he fixes it, he knows he's in trouble, he's taking shots from everybody. I'm going to try to get the track, there we go. And then he disappears on us because he is outside of our view range. Now we have 3 guys over here. What is the purpose of taking this flank? Well, that's a good one. Early shots on people who are unwise. It's highly unlikely those two are going to drive through the open again, you think? I think they're probably not going to do that unless they feel real good about what's happening up on this flank. So for the moment, they're probably not going to be guys we get shots on. So I'm going to head actually this way and start to see if we can roll up this flank, which will create more strategic flank possibilities and potentially more local flank possibilities on people being silly. And as soon as I say that, a T-57 decides to cross, although he's a little bit further back. Very interesting right there. This is the most common bush right in front of me to get shots, but he is still out in the open. I'm going to try to use that pneumatic suspension here, but I don't quite have the depression I want, so I've got to shift around a little bit. I am watching the mini-map because what I want to be careful about is the Sheridan or one of these other light tanks tucking up behind me on this ridge right here and proxy lighting me. The danger of this flank is getting lit while we're all hanging out on this open top right here, and now these guys down here having shots on us. So we'll get a shot on this guy, we'll thump him. He knows he's in trouble. He's got nowhere to go, and down he goes. So he got engaged with guys in front of him and then had shots on the side. He should have noticed what happened to the guys who tried it first, but that's good news for us. So come up here. Do I get spotted? I don't, so I'll just come up here, and he's just really being a bit foolish. We'll put a thump on that guy. Now he knows I'm here. Okay, so that changes what I'm doing a little bit here. They know I'm here, and I'm also curious about what's going on there to the north of me. How many guys did they send? They've lost 3. There's 1 artillery, that's 4. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not very many guys. I feel like maybe there's 2 or 3, at the most 4 guys over there. So let's find out what happens. That's enough to kill me if I'm unwise, and all of a sudden some of my buddies are gone. And I turn around and go, wait a minute, it's just me and the STB. Well, I'm glad I didn't. I just rhymed. Me and the STB. I don't want to push in there now and take these guys on because one of my buddies left. And the Leopard PTA is basically doing kind of a strategic flank, right? He figures this is basically one. I'm heading over here. I'm going to help get the hit points in the town. Based on what you see here, I think the town's in really good shape. One of the other things then to watch while you're doing one of these kind of strategic flanks where we really beat up their guys on the edge of town and we killed a bunch of them. I can tell that a good chunk of them are over there where the JPZ 100 is, over here. There's a 704 I might be able to get shots on. There's maybe a guy here, but that's pretty much all their tanks. There's not much unaccounted for. I want to say about 2 tanks, which we're going to find in just a minute. But now I can move up on this flank and see if I can get more shots in the 704. And I know I'm safe because I'm pretty sure there's nobody left in this part of town. So I can tuck up to this ridge, start getting highlights on these guys, and watch as the green guys start to filter through. Once you get an advantage like this in guns, your guns are going to start showing up in all kinds of places on the map. So I sort of ignored him. I look for a shot there, but all of a sudden he comes around. Say thank you very much. The STB goes in. We get the 1516 tracked, and he's in big trouble. There is a T-30. He's not really paying attention, so I'm going to try to get around here. I tuck down because I don't want to get shot by the T-30. We'll take another shot into him. We'll move back. But now we've got an E-50 showing up. That's the X factor. We didn't know he was there, and it was the T-30, and he hits hard. So we'll just sneak a shot onto the E-50. The STB-1 is there. And guess what's happening? Some of the guys down below are filtering in to getting shots on these guys as they push us. We're in a bit of a tough pickle here because there's 3 of them. There actually turns out to be 4 because pretty quickly the Sheridan's going to make another appearance, and their one gun that was over here that we were looking to get shots on has decided to come support these guys. So the 704 has shots, and all of a sudden we've gone from a good situation to a pretty bad situation right here because the enemy finally sort of got their act together, at least on one flank, and they've got some support for each other. But our team is going to start pushing through. And now I'm basically at the survival mode. Sheridan comes in and thumps that guy. I go after the E-50. I really wish, to be quite honest, I'd have tried to take down the Sheridan right there, but I knew the STB was dead, and I'm just basically trying to stay away from getting hit too much. So we shoot him, head back this way. Here comes the Sheridan again. And the guys are starting to filter through. Get thumped by this guy. And, I mean, he does 767. I just got pinned by a bloody Sheridan with the derp. What are you going to do? That really limits my options, but I'm able to actually shoot him. And, unfortunately, I only do 334 to that guy. That's got to be a pretty low roll. Yeah, and I leave him 44. So, on a bad low roll, an average roll would have killed him. I leave him on 44 hit points. But things are going from bad to worse. And look at that, the 53-55. You got to love it when Artie saves your life. Somewhere in there, the T-30 died as well. Where is he dead? No, the T-30 just got killed by Artie, sorry. The 1516's dead, and the... Where did the... There you go. Where's the damn E-50? Oh, there he is. E-50's over there. He just blew up. I think I got all that wrong on who killed what, but you know what I'm saying. And my guys have filtered through town and supported us over here, and we've cleaned up that flank right there. So the flank thing in the game is interesting because it can be very difficult. It would have been easy on this one, especially at a couple points where I was saying, well, I think there's not very much over here. Had we pushed in aggressively and be in the STB, we might have died much earlier, and that would have left their whole flank alive. Would they have come back from a 15-3? I don't think so, but they might have brought it a lot closer than they otherwise would have, and certainly I would have had less of a game than 3,777 and 656 assists. So when you move to flanks like that, you initially need to be a bit careful to see what's going on. Press it when you can, and sometimes when you do press it, you get into a problem like that. But if you have maintained your vote, then you should get the rest of your team coming over to support right there. It didn't happen in this game, but if you get to a flank and nothing's going on, then do that strategic flanking thing. The PTA kind of saw that. I think that's what he saw and figured, so he bailed out and headed down to town to get some hit points. Would have been a lot better if he'd have stuck with us for a little bit longer and we could have worked on that flank. But he wasn't seeing anything. I think he had kind of the same assessment I did. I still felt like I had some shots down into the town for that tactical flank stuff going on right there. So he left, put us in a bit of a bind, but we actually ended up surviving this. I come out of it with 13 hit points. Granted, it was a pen from a derp. I don't know. Did he shoot me right in the back? I don't know where it went. Is that? No, that's just standard hole. There it is. Right through the side of me right there. So there you go. Strategic and tactical flanking. You saw a good bit of tactical flanking at the end game right there as I moved around looking for side shots on guys. Got a couple lucky bounces. Unlucky on the Sheridan, but ended up surviving it right there. And we come out of it with a win. So I hope that helped you guys out. Hope you like what you saw. Learned a little bit about flanking in this game. Last thing I will say, and I say this quite a bit, sometimes you just get people at the beginning of the game, they rage off towards a flank and they just wander around, and I always get that idea in my mind that they're kind of like from old school, right? Will Ferrell, we're streaking, the guy's, I'm flanking, but he has no idea what the heck he's doing. As long as there's a purpose and you react to what's going on the board, it can be a very good idea. Last thing I'll say, don't take the wrong tank to the flank. The E100 going up there probably wasn't a great idea, right? Our E100 went where he needed to go. I took a medium, worked it as best I could over there, and became an active part of the win as opposed to just going and sitting on a hill on a flank somewhere thinking you're flanking. All right, that is all I've got, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you.